Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, and welcome to today's episode of 219 Green Connect, where we explore topics about the environment and green living in Northwest Indiana. For past show archives, news, and upcoming events, you can check out our website at 219greenconnect.com or connect with us on Facebook or Twitter. You can also subscribe to this podcast via iTunes. Just look for 219 Green Connect. I'm your host, Kathy Sipple, and with me today I have Randi. She is a transformational specialist, a healing coach, and a mental trainer. The tools that she uses are state-of-the-art and scientifically proven to create fast and effective change. She is the owner of Enlightened Living Hypnosis, and I'd like to welcome you today, Randi. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Kathy. I'm really excited.
Well, I'm excited about your idea. Several weeks ago, Randi contacted me and said, hey, I've got this idea that I'd really like to put my hypnosis and meditation skills to work to create a meditation for Mother Earth in honor of Earth Day. And I was excited too. Didn't know exactly how I could help, but I thought, let's do a podcast about it so that we can get the word out, digitally and take it beyond your live event, which will be held on Tuesday, April 22nd, which is Earth Day. Is that right?
That's right. April 22nd is the official Earth Day, and it's on that day because it's John Muir's birthday. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
And I'm really thank you so much for doing this, because also after talking to you and figuring out to create this meditation for Mother Earth, I had some friends asking me, well, they wanted to participate, but they lived in California. So we are actually going to live stream this as well. Green Research Corporation is going to video stream it so that actually people can do it with us all over the world. So
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
And you can find the link for that actually on the podcast episode show description. So if you go to blogtalkradio.com/219 Green Connect, you'll see this episode. And within that episode description, you can click on the link that will allow you to join the live stream on the 22nd. And what time will that be, Randi?
6:30 Central Time, about 6:30 to 8 o'clock Central Time.
Great. So that'll be 7:30 to 9 Eastern Time. This will also go out on Sustainable Indiana 2016's podcast stream. So I'd invite people throughout Indiana and really throughout the world to join it. That's the miracle of live streaming. Anybody who wants to put this intention forth on Earth Day can join Randi and join us in this meditation. So tell me a little bit about what inspired you to do this, Randi, and just a little bit about, what people can expect when they tune in on the 22nd.
Okay. Well, I lead free hypnosis meditations every other month at Eastwind Studios in Chesterton. It's my way of giving back to the community, and I have people drive, an hour and a half to come to that experience, and even little kids get to join us. And what I've done a lot of research on hypnosis and meditation, and what I have found along the way is their research has demonstrated. So John Hagelin did this study back in around 2000, and they brought in 4,000 meditators from all over the planet and housed them for an 8-week period in the Washington, D.C. area. And they wanted to see if these 4,000 meditators meditating every day could reduce violent crime. And it did. They did. No, none of the people knew that this was happening, and anyway, it was over 20% reduction in violent crime, rape, murder, and battery. And so what this suggests is that when these meditators get together, they affect other people. So other people were less inclined to go and do things like that. So it created a peaceful vibration, if you will, a peaceful energy. And so that is what made me really, really think about, okay, so if we do this meditation for Mother Earth, so we'll go into the alpha and theta state because that's what meditation is. It's our brainwave cycling and getting slower and more focused in alpha and theta. And so then our brainwaves will be cycling together. And then we can also create heart coherence with this heart breathing technique while they're in the hypnotic state. And so then our brainwaves are cycling together, our hearts are in coherence, and we can really create a strong field. And then when you vividly imagine the earth and the way we want it to be, instead of all the things that have, been showing up and all the devastation and sadness, when we focus on what we want it to happen, that's a really, really powerful opportunity. And I feel like the people in other states are going to be the receivers and transformers, and it'll connect with them, and they'll hook up with them, and we'll make this very much a stronger field to the point where we can actually make much more change than we could just one-on-one.
Great.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I remember hearing about that study in the Washington, D.C. area and just being, really excited by the possibilities. There is definitely a lot of power in thought, and especially when people are joined together for a common purpose. So I hope we get lots of support for this effort. And then tell me a little bit about your background, why Mother Earth is so important to you. What are some of the things in your past that have led you to feel so connected?
Yeah, it started years ago. I actually have a master's degree in environmental education, and I was for many years an associate volunteer staff member of the Institute for Earth Education. And back in my 20s, when I was getting my master's degree, I actually was really upset and really angry at what was happening to the earth and all the destruction and poisoning, and it really, really affected me, and I knew I had to do something, and that's why I ended up getting a master's, and I would teach people to love and care for the earth. I really got connected with the earth when I went to Indiana University and it's so beautiful there, and there's caves, so I started really falling in love with the earth, with nature, and then I ended up deciding I had to get this master's degree. And when I moved to California, to San Francisco, it was right around 1990, and that's when they decided to do another major big Earth Day. So the first one started in 1970, and so now it's 20 years later, and they want to, have a big upsurge for Earth Day and make a movement, because the first Earth Day, I think, is what got the Clean Water Act and a couple of really important things in place. So San Francisco is like the hub of everything. So I ended up being the pledge coordinator. I think that we had 400,000 people come to the event in San Francisco.
Oh.
It was pretty fascinating. Yeah. And so, and I worked for the city of San Francisco for the Solid Waste Management District, teaching people about recycling and composting, and actually teaching mostly kids and training teachers. So that's a little bit of how I got started in it. So that was a really passionate time for me to want to do something to teach people to live more lightly on the earth. And then I ended up moving back to Indiana, actually, even though I grew up in Illinois. So I moved back to Indiana and became a board member of the Save the Dunes Council. And so we decided it was, once again, 2000. So I worked with some of the members and some of the employees, and we created another Earth Day that started at the Save the Dunes. And actually, the Earth Day coming up on the 19th, that is still happening, is a result of the beginning of those seeds that we started at the Save the Dunes. And the meditation for Mother Earth that's happening on April 22nd, we are asking for a $10 suggested donation that will be given to the Save the Dunes Council, or the Save the Dunes is what it's called now.
Great. And for those who might be listening outside the area, I just want to give some sense of geography. Save the Dunes is focused primarily on the Indiana Dunes area in the north part of the state. And Randi, yourself, you are located, do you want to say kind of where your home base is?
Yeah, in Ogden Dunes, Indiana, or northwest Indiana. near Lake Michigan, basically.
It's a beautiful area, which I enjoy hiking very frequently. So that's great.
Yeah, and the Save the Dunes actually got started by 12 women in Ogden Dunes, Indiana, which is really fascinating to think about. And they're still continuing. The reason why we have a lot of the lakeshore still is because of the Save the Dunes. So it's dear to my heart. And I think I answered your question. I just have really felt this deep connection to doing something for the earth. And so here, that's why another reason I was like, well, I do these free hypnosis meditations. Let's charge $10 or ask for people to donate $10 and come to this meditation for Mother Earth. And we can all do something different. You know, the Earth Day events, a lot of times we're focused on different aspects, and it's hard to really connect and feel connected to the earth. And that was always what I wanted to be part of, like even the Save the Dunes one. So I always took the kids on hikes and do different things. But when it's more of a festival, it's hard to slow down and get into a meditative state or just really be present in nature. So in this way, when we go into the meditative state and actually focus our thoughts on what we want to happen, and we start to see the world the way we want it, that's how things can unfold in that direction, because your mind cannot tell the difference between what you are vividly imagining and what is real. And when you're vividly imagining, you're in hypnosis, you're in a focused state, so your mind can't tell the difference. So you want to start this is what I teach all my clients, is to focus on what you want instead of what you don't want. And, you know, so we're surrounded by so many things that are happening on the earth, and with all the animals and places disappearing. So I wanted to really give us an opportunity to be able to see these places healthy and happy, and people healthy and happy. And just going into the meditative or hypnotic state can improve your immune system. Just you personally going into the state can melt the cortisol, let alone what we do once you get there. So this one is going to be mainly focused on Mother Earth and helping move humanity forward and look at the world in a different way and give us hope and inspiration, and to start vividly imagining and seeing the pictures of how we want the Earth to be, how we want the people to be. That will make it a stronger opportunity. It's a new and different kind of way. Well, it's not new, but it's a different way of doing something positive. I've been doing so many things, living lightly and teaching people to live lightly, but what I've noticed at Earth Days and different things over the years is a lot of times the people who come already know a lot of stuff. So this gives everybody another opportunity in a different way to get connected to themselves, connected to other like-minded people, and be a force for good and a force for change.
Well, I just want to say I agree with everything you just said. I'm very glad that Earth Day exists, because it's a great place to come and pick up information for people who already know the basics, to just reconnect and maybe glean a little bit of additional information or help bring others up to speed. But you're right, it isn't a real, slow down, meditate, hug a tree kind of situation. It's more like a trade fair. And I will be there, by the way, with 219 Green Connect. I'll also be representing Northwest Indiana Green Drinks, which is a monthly meetup for people that are interested in environmental topics to get together and meet face-to-face year-round. So it's a way to extend Earth Day beyond just that one day and give it a longer-term focus. So that's something I've been involved in for a little over 3 years. There's a chapter in Valparaiso and then another chapter in Michigan City. If you'd like to find out if there's a Green Drinks near you, you can go to greendrinks.org and just type in your city or your state, and it will tell you where a chapter is located nearest you. If there is not one, it's not awfully difficult to host. You might want to think about starting one up in your neck of the woods. Also, I want to say, because you mentioned recycling and how you were in charge of that when you were out in California, I just completed this week a master recycler and composting class, which was the first of its kind in the state of Indiana. So I really give our solid waste district, kudos for bringing that to the Midwest and to Indiana, which isn't often known for setting those kinds of trends. And it was great. It was really great. It was put on by the Porter County Waste Reduction and Recycling District, And you can find out more about them at itmeanstheworld.org. They are actually the sponsoring organization behind Northwest Indiana Earth Day as it exists today, the one that Randi helped start years ago. And it was great. I'll tell you, just 2 days ago, our very last field trip was a trip to a landfill, and it was down in Newton County. It's the second largest landfill in the U.S., 690 acres with plans to annex additional acreage. And while the management company of the site, I think, does a very good job as far as landfills go, once that landfill is filled, there's very little that you can do with that land. It can be used for, let's say a golf course or a park, but because the topsoil layer is only about 3 feet deep, you can't drill, you can never have a well there because there's all kind of toxicity in the soil. You can't put any building foundation down on it. So while, it was very informative and it was good to go and see, it also just broke my heart, especially when I learned that 43%, I believe, of the fill there was paper. So that's a very recyclable material. It's a very compostable material. And so I just urge people to really rethink your whole approach to, reducing waste in your household. I'm really big into composting. We are lucky here in Valparaiso and Porter County to have curbside recycling. If you live in an outlying district and you have trash, a private waste management company, often they also provide recycling. And if you don't happen to live in an area where those are located, I want to just give a shout out to our show's sponsor. It's Metro Recycling, and their tagline is Recycling Beyond the Blue Box. Their website is wheredoirecycle.com, and you can actually find out how to recycle all kinds of things. They'll take vinyl siding. They'll literally take a kitchen sink. We toured their place a couple weeks ago, and I literally saw a stainless steel sink in one of their recycling bins. So if you've got something unwieldy, you've got something that you just feel might be worth something, they actually do give you cash back for a lot of the items that you can take in there. And, sometimes it's just a matter of who's going to handle this properly. And by all means, keeping it out of the landfill. Please,
yes.
Please, rethink. So
I know, Kathy, when I worked for the city of San Francisco's recycling education program, I created this program where we would take kids on field trips, and they get a fancy bus, and we take them to the transfer station, and where 5 million pounds of garbage were dumped every single day. But their transfer station was also a huge recycling center. They would not. This was 20 years ago, and they wouldn't let you dump many things into the landfill. It was not allowed, illegal. So it was a huge place that had all kinds of different recycling areas and reuse areas. You weren't allowed to put a lot of things in it. But I'm telling you, when I brought those kids, and we were actually at eye level with all this garbage that would be pushed at us at the same time, and then at the last second drop down into a truck that was below us, they would get my point and really start to get the concept that this is all recyclable, because in a landfill, even a piece of paper that is very easy to compost and recycle does not. I mean, they can find newspapers 17 years old that they can read.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. And I think whether you're a kid or an adult, these field trips are a really, really good idea to go out and, just take part in this. I was very fortunate that my schedule allowed me to take part in this first class. They will be offering it again in the fall, so if that's something you'd like to check out, you can go to itmeanstheworld.org and just get set up to receive an alert for when they do start forming that next class. It was fascinating. We had a lot of really good tours. Yeah. So go ahead.
Let me say one of the things I wanted to say about the event, the Meditation for Mother Earth at Eastwind Studios. First of all, it's at Eastwind Studios in Chesterton, Indiana. So it's 101 2nd Street. Chesterton, Indiana. And we're going to have a couple other things there. We'll have the Save the Dunes talk for 5 minutes, and then Shaq Lee will be there. Tanya O'Rourke will be there and talk for 5 minutes about environmentally friendly cleaning products. And then Harvest Circle Workshops, April Nix, she'll be there with her really healthy protein balls that you can taste and purchase. And so we'll have a couple of little...
Going for breakfast, by the way. They are delicious. Yes, they're very good.
Yeah, so there'll be a couple of, few little things while we're, drinking tea and preparing ourselves for the meditation that we can learn about and begin to make changes already. And so it's at 101 2nd Street in Chesterton at Eastwind Studios. I just wanted to throw that concept out so everybody knows. And you can go to my Facebook page, my Enlightened Living with Randi Light, or you can actually just probably go into Facebook and do Meditation for Mother Earth, and the event should come up with all the information that you need. There could be a lot of people, so people might want to bring, for people who come, they might want to bring a yoga mat and a pillow to lay on if there's enough room for everybody to lay down on the floor or however they want to.
And why don't you go ahead and give out your website as well, just for people who may not be on Facebook. Will they be able to find out the information by going to your website as well?
Yeah, it should get on there really soon, as well as the link from Green Research. But Enlightened Living with RandiLight.com. So Enlightened Living with Randi Light will take you to my Facebook page, and EnlightenedLivingWithRandiLight.com will take you to my website.
Right.
So you just add the .com.
Right. Let's just give the spelling of your name, too, because it's Randi with an I, so that's R-A-N-D-I, and then Light is L-I-G-H-T, which I think is so appropriate. Since you are a light worker and you do this energy work. Very aptly named. So that's great stuff. Well, anything else you'd like to say about, the event on the 22nd, or just any other thoughts on the healing of the world? Or, you've talked a lot about the vision that we want to create for the world. Is there anything that you see in your vision?
Well, I really believe it's important that we all start to meditate and we all start to use hypnosis and things like that and really start to focus on what we want to happen and not let us be driven by fear, because there's so much fear in the world right now, and that is what's a driving force, and we want to create trust and peace and know that everything's going to be okay. And one of the key ways you can do that is to go into hypnosis or meditative state as close to daily as possible. And I actually have a free hypnosis MP3 called Generate Unstoppable Confidence. And you can get that from liking that Facebook page, Enlightened Living with Randi Light, or go to my website, or both. So my website, you can also get it at EnlightenedLivingHypnosis.com. So I really want people to recognize that they can do things and they can make changes in their own lives and for humanity. At the Lightworkers Conference, the Lightworkers Midwest Conference that usually happens in September in Illinois, I hypnotized 200 people, and I helped them ignite their purpose, passion, and productivity, but also the bottom line was to move humanity forward. After all, that's what a light worker is, someone who wants to do something. And Kathy, I have to give a shout-out to everything that you do for Northwest Indiana, for the planet, all this giving and this love, and I just want to give a big shout-out to everything you do, and I thank you so, so much for doing it.
It's going to come right back to you, because here's the thing. I attended one of your vision board workshops actually at Eastwind Acupuncture, the same place that's hosting this meditation on the 22nd, and I attended your vision board workshop. I had never been to a vision board workshop. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I was curious. I was at a time in my life where I was wondering, what's the next step? And I have my vision board right in front of me that I created in January of, 2010. And I had things on there. There's a picture of the earth. There's a picture of a woman walking through woods. There's a picture of healing is a simple act. A lot of other things. They're kind of earth-related, about gardening and just walking and things like that. But the one that popped out at me the most was building a scaffold for social change. Well, guess what? That was actually the seed that led me to create 219 Green Connect. So I think that's kind of cool. I thought Earth Day is really great, but it's one day, and I remembered green drinks, which was monthly, so I kind of resuscitated green drinks also kind of as an outcome of attending that vision board workshop, but ultimately built 219 Green Connect because it started in that vision board workshop. So it's just kind of cool how we're all connected. Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
And the health food store, Nature's Cupboard is also going to be there having some different things because, just changing the way you eat and eating organic and living lightly on the earth, choosing, if you're a meat eater, then choosing much healthier meats is healthier for you as well as for the planet. So they're going to be there as well, and she'll probably talk for 5 minutes, either Brooklyn or Mylise. So it's really just going to be a simple but powerful opportunity for people to learn, to heal, and to move humanity forward. So I really hope you just like the Facebook page, get on it, say you're coming, and spread the word. Let other people know, because now it's going to be streamed all over. It's going to be video streamed. We'll probably start about 7:15 with the actual meditation, but jump on board, be a part of this incredible, unusual, and powerful opportunity.
Great. Well, thank you so much. And I do want to also give a shout out to my own website, which I just said, 219greenconnect.com, does have a calendar feature. And what I'd love is for members of the community who are hosting, a green or environmentally oriented event, natural health definitely being included among those, you can go ahead and list your event for free on that calendar. And, I can't often help everybody promote every single event, but by you entering the information there, I do try to drive traffic and promote that calendar. So if you've got an event that you think is similar to this or you'd like to, have known, please do enter it there. And then also Sustainable Indiana 2016, that is a statewide initiative to help Indiana achieve some sustainability measures by our bicentennial year, which is in just a couple years, 2016. So you can find out more about them at sustainableindiana2016.org. And there are all kinds of different resources there for people that are looking for like-minded others statewide to kind of connect the green dots throughout the state of Indiana. So we are all part of this matrix that is trying to get our planet healed. Go ahead, Randi.
Yes, and I want to let people know that I work with both children and adults in private and group settings. So I'm a mental trainer for athletes and for businesses, and I really help people who have sleep issues or are feeling really stressed out and worried and might be feeling anxious and they just want to sleep better and feel better, have more confidence, take off weight, reduce chronic pain. I mean, it's an amazing thing what the subconscious mind can do. So I want people to know that they can find me and utilize these amazing services and create fast and effective change and start feeling a lot better. And when you feel better, that's the vibration you're giving out. This is all proven. And so then you feeling good is actually helping move humanity forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely agree. Well, we are nearing the end of our time together, so I want to thank you, Randi Light, for joining us, and I hope that you'll get a great turnout on the 22nd. Again, you can find out information by clicking the link on the show description. Go to blogtalkradio.com/219 Green Connect, and you can find out all the details. And just another thank you again to Metro Recycling. They've got locations in 3 cities throughout the greater Northwest Indiana area. They do provide financial support and underwriting for this podcast, so that helps make it possible. And also, itmeanstheworld.org, the Porter County Waste Reduction and Recycling Department, they also do provide some support as well, and they do great work in the community. So thanks to all the supporters, and best of luck to you, Randi, at your meditation.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you do, and thank you for all those corporations that are involved. So thank you again for this opportunity.
Have a great day.
You too. Okay. Bye-bye.